He's like a cockroach. You think you kill him, then he pops up someplace else. Liam Neeson as Dr. Peyton Westlake, aka Darkman. Larry Drake as Robert G. Durant. Frances McDormand as Julie Hastings. Colin Freese as Louis Strack. And director Sam Raimi bring you What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another Hi-Fi Stereo movie review. And today I'm reviewing, you know by the title, Darkman. This movie did make my top 100. Now this movie has special meaning to me, mainly because I remember plain as day, just like it was yesterday. So even though this was August of 1990, my grandmother, you know, which is no longer here, but my grandmother, she took me to see this movie at the theaters, and I can vividly remember it was the day before school started, so it was on like a Sunday. Yeah, so I will always have that memory that, you know, attached to this movie, right? But with that aside, though, it's still a good movie, though, right, on its own. But I just thought I would share that, little bit of info with you guys. But yeah, Darkman, released to theaters in summer of 1990. It was like I remember the commercial was like, "Who is Darkman?" Liam Neeson is Darkman, right? In this one, anyway. There was 2 sequels, Darkman 2 and 3. He did not reprise his role. Actually, Arnold Vosloo was Darkman in those 2 movies. I'll probably talk about those 2 on a separate video. I like part 2. It was a decent sequel. I didn't really care for 3 as much. But anyways, about this movie, right? So Liam Neeson, Larry Drake is Robert Durant. He's like Robert Durant is one of my favorite villains of all time. I just liked he was just a very different villain. He was, you know, he dressed really nice. He dressed in a suit. Okay, so he looked like a businessman, but even though he was a criminal, though, right? I guess he was what would you call that? A high profile, high profile or elite criminal, right? When you, I guess when you're wealthy like that and you dress nice, but you're still a criminal when it comes down to it. But yeah, I just like the way the look, right? He had a look to him, right? Yeah, here's Larry Drake as Robert Durant, one of my favorite villains of all time in a movie. I just like the part he played. He was very to the point. You know, he had a job to do, and he was there to do it, and that's kind of what I liked about it. He was like a no nonsense, let's get this done. But yeah, he's also very sadistic. You know, very evil, I guess, but. The guy that played him, Larry Drake, you know, he played Benny on L.A. Law, so that character was like the mentally slow. So he basically, talk about a range here. He went from one extreme to the other here, playing Benny on LA Law to playing Robert Durant on Darkman. But yeah, I just like this style, the way he dressed, his always having the cigar and the cigar cutter. That was like his signature, basically his signature, right? He would take his cigar cutter and basically, as you can see, cutting the fingers off of his victims here. So, but he's like the number 2 villain of this movie. There's another guy that's basically got the money and the power and gives the orders. And Robert Durant and his crew, they're basically the enforcers. They get the orders from the guy with the money up in the skyscraper, and they go out and enforce things on the street there. So just a little bit about this movie. Darkman, he's a scientist. He's trying to help people, right? He's trying to make this like fake liquid skin for burn victims. So Dr. Westlake is basically a scientist here. He's working on a liquid skin. Here he is with his lab assistant. He's trying to make a permanent liquid skin. So they basically take a picture, they feed it into the computer, and they create this basically like this, almost like a latex, I guess, liquid skin. So that's what his life is. He's creating this. There as you can see, he's making a nose there. So they're having problems with it disintegrating in light after 99 minutes. There he's looking under a microscope, but there at 99 minutes the cells fall apart and disintegrate. So there after 99 minutes the fake skin is disintegrating and not stable. So that's his job. He's trying to work on finding it permanently stable in the light. So that's kind of his life. So he's basically working on that. But him and Robert Durant cross paths because of some kind of memo, just a piece of paper basically. But that piece of paper had some damaging evidence on it from this big shot. This big shot, basically the main villain of the movie, sends Durant to retrieve that document, the Belisarius Memorandum. So that's all it was, a piece of paper, and Dr. Westlake didn't know anything about it. The truth was it was his girlfriend. She was the one that had it, and like left it at their place, at his lab. So, but yeah, they basically beat him up and leave him for dead. So yeah, basically, Dr. Westlake's life gets ruined and turned upside down, and he lost everything. Basically, he's disfigured. He lost his girlfriend. He lost his work. They destroyed his lab. So he really is like, you really feel for the guy, and so you kind of find yourself rooting for him. Even though they don't kill him, he survives. Okay, but they, not knowing they created a monster, alright? So, basically, from that point, Darkman, basically, it's a typical, revenge story, right? He wants to, get back at those guys, that ruined his life, right? But I shouldn't say it's a typical revenge, because to me, it's a very different movie. It's not just like, because a lot of times it's like they come back from the dead or this or that, but he survived, right? He was severely disfigured though. He was burned. Most of his body and face were burned. So here's the look of Darkman. He wears the coat and hat, and his face is all bandaged up like that. So he's not recognizable anymore. But I think the thing that stands about the movie, besides the cool villain of Robert Durant, Robert Durant's more interesting than like the actual big shot is. He just is like a typical guy with money, business, and he just gives the orders. He's not really that interesting at all. Durant was interesting to me. I guess because of he just if you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's got some, I don't want to say fetishes, but he has a different. He likes to keep souvenirs. Let's put it that way. Some very interesting souvenirs, very different. believe me, if you watch this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or if you do, when you do watch it, you'll like, oh, that's what you were talking about. So yeah, Robert Durant is the interesting villain. But other than that, what sets this movie apart is Liam Neeson as the scientist. You know, he can take a picture and make himself look like the villains, and that's basically how he his plan is to take down the organization from within and turn them against each other. So basically, Darkman there, he is taking pictures of the bad guys. He's scoping them out, following them, and he's taking photographs. So what his plan is basically he can create the skin and make it last for 99 minutes. So basically he can make himself look like them. He can take those pictures, feed them in the computer, basically make a mask and pose as the villains. And so his plan is to take down the organization from the inside that way. There you see all the different photographs he's taken of the bad guys. So you have situations like this. There's Darkman posed as Polly. There's the real Polly in bed. Darkman used some chloroform on him to knock him out. So he's going to go pick up the cash and basically, do a setup here. So there's his skin starting to disintegrate. His time's running out, almost 99 minutes. So he's got to get out of there. And situations like this. There's Robert Durant, and then there's Darkman dressed up as him, looking like him. It's like, here's Durant. Now here's Durant's goon. He's like, which one's Durant? Which one's the real one? He's like, shoot him! No, shoot him! So there is a little, that was like a little bit of comical. That was a nice touch, I thought. So he ditched the mask and got out of there. Yeah, so Liam Neeson does a good job. Darkman does have fits of rage sometimes when he doesn't get his way, because as they explained in the movie, they did an operation on him so he wouldn't feel his pain from his burns. But the problem with that is the only really feeling he has left is his emotions. So sometimes his emotions can get out of control, like right here. So if you haven't seen this, I would highly recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up, 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. But yeah, it's an action sci-fi movie. A little bit of horror / comedy elements in it too. It only has a runtime of 1 hour and 36 minutes. Those are my kind of movies. I like a movie to be under 2 hours. That's cool. Anything over 2 hours, it's like, to me, it's almost too long. Yeah, have you guys seen this movie? Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. But yeah, I just want to do a quick review of this movie, and because a lot of people don't know about it, I don't think. So if it's your first time to the channel, tap that red subscribe button down there, then the bell next to it, ding ding, and that way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So until next time, guys, keep it retro.